It always starts with something small, a thought, followed by a sign. You think of someone, and they call. You say a word, and hear it echo in a stranger's mouth moments later. A song you haven't heard in years plays just as you remember a memory you thought was lost. Coincidence? Maybe once, maybe twice. But what happens when it keeps happening? What happens when the pattern becomes undeniable? When your life begins to feel like it's not just unfolding, but responding? That's when the veil thins, and you start to ask questions that can't be Googled. Questions like, what is this intelligence that seems to be behind everything? Why do synchronicities appear just before something in me shifts? And what if they're not just signs, but invitations? This is not just about lucky numbers or strange timing. This is about something older, something watching, something whispering through the cracks in reality. In this video, we're going to reveal something most spiritual teachers never tell you, that synchronicities don't start after awakening. They cause it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why certain patterns chase you, why reality bends at key moments in your life, and what the code inside synchronicities is really pointing to. You'll also learn the one thing to do the next time a synchronicity appears, because how you respond changes everything. So stay with me, because the moment that triggered your awakening, it might not have been a moment at all. It might have been a message, one you're finally ready to understand. The term synchronicity was first whispered into modern thought by Carl Jung, not as a scientific concept, but as a key. He called it meaningful coincidence, a moment where two events connect, without cause, but with undeniable connection. But what Jung discovered went far beyond psychology. He found that the human psyche isn't isolated, it's woven into time, into symbols, into the very fabric of reality. Synchronicities, he realized, weren't just weird events. They were reflections, evidence that there is an underlying order to what we call chaos. And that order, it's personal, because the signs you see are not the same signs I see. The numbers, names, symbols, animals, songs, they speak in your language, in the dialect of your wounds, your questions, your longings. They are not random, they are precise, tailored, as if the universe isn't speaking in general, but whispering directly to you. And the reason synchronicities become more frequent during awakening is because they've always been there. You were just too loud to hear them. When your mind softens, when your inner noise quiets, you begin to notice. And noticing is the first act of remembering. Because here's what most people miss. Synchronicities don't happen to you. They happen with you. You are not the receiver. You are the co-creator. Your thoughts, your emotions, your frequency, they don't just interpret the world, they bend it, pull it, shape it. And when you're aligned, even slightly, reality begins to echo back, not metaphorically, literally. So next time something impossible happens, don't just observe it. Ask, what is this showing me about the unseen part of me that's finally becoming visible? Have you ever noticed synchronicities don't show up when life is easy? They appear at the edge of things, at the edge of a breakup, the edge of a move, the edge of saying yes to something terrifying or no to something familiar. That's not an accident. Synchronicities don't just confirm your path, they create it. Every time you see a repeating number, a strange encounter, a word echoing back from 5 different mouths in the same day, it's not because the universe is cute. It's because something in your field just shifted, and reality is letting you know it noticed. You are not who you were yesterday, and the signs know it. That's why they show up most intensely when you're about to make a choice that matters. The choice to leave, to speak, to forgive, to finally become the version of you that your future keeps dreaming of. You think synchronicities are chasing you. They're not. They're waiting for the moment your frequency aligns just enough for the message to land. And when it does, you don't just feel seen, you feel summoned. Because some synchronicities aren't guidance, they're summons. not signs to follow, but calls to answer. And when you ignore them, they get louder, weirder, more impossible to explain away, until one day you stop asking, "Is this a sign?" and start asking, "What part of me is ready and doesn't know it yet?" If that moment has ever happened to you, if you've ever felt like the universe turned its head and looked right at you, leave a comment below and tell me what triggered it. And if you want to stay in this frequency, subscribe, because this isn't just a video, it's a mirror, and mirrors always show up right before something changes. What if synchronicities aren't just signs, but memories, not from your past, but from your future? You see, the soul doesn't move in straight lines. It doesn't speak in clocks or calendars. It remembers in symbols, in rhythm, in resonance. And when you experience a synchronicity, you're not learning something new. You're remembering something ancient. That number you keep seeing, that phrase that echoes again and again, it's not trying to teach you. It's trying to wake up the part of you that already knows. You've been here before, maybe not in this body, maybe not in this timeline, but some part of you, older than time, wiser than words, has already walked this road. Synchronicities are like breadcrumbs from the self you haven't met yet, but already are. That's why they don't make logical sense, because they're not meant for the mind. They're meant for the memory of the soul. Ever felt déjà vu so strong it made you stop breathing? Ever walked into a room and felt like you dreamt it, but not as a dream, as a place you once lived? That's not fantasy, that's frequency recognition. Reality is layered, and sometimes synchronicities pierce through the layers to remind you that you are more than this moment. So when something strange happens, a perfect symbol at the perfect time, don't rush to explain it. Breathe it in, because that moment might be a message from the version of you who already found the way out. We like to think of synchronicities as comforting, soft winks from the universe, gentle nudges, pretty numbers, perfect songs. But not all signs arrive wrapped in calm. Some arrive wrapped in chaos. Because synchronicity isn't always confirmation. Sometimes it's a warning. You walk into a room and something feels off. No one says a word, but your whole body tightens. A phrase repeats in your head, uninvited, almost haunting. You ignore it. Then it happens again, this time louder. Then someone else says the same phrase out loud. Then it shows up on a screen. Then in a dream. You're not paranoid. You're being prepared. Because synchronicities don't just reflect your alignment. They can reveal misalignment too. When a situation, a person, a path is pulling you away from your core, reality starts to glitch. Symbols distort. Messages double. And if you don't listen, those gentle nudges become impossible to ignore. Your body knows. Your energy field reacts before your mind can rationalize. That's why some of the most important synchronicities don't feel good. They feel urgent. It's not fear. It's frequency correction. The universe isn't trying to punish you. It's trying to redirect you before the cost of staying asleep becomes too high. So the next time a synchronicity feels strange, unsettling, even dark, don't dismiss it. Ask, what truth is trying to break through that I've been avoiding? And if this has ever happened to you, if a strange symbol once tried to save you, leave a comment below. Say what it was. Say what it stopped you from doing. Your voice might be the synchronicity someone else is waiting for. Most people think synchronicities are just signs, but signs only point. They don't guide. What if synchronicities are more than that? What if they're a kind of spiritual GPS, not just showing you where to go, but calibrating reality around your movement? Because here's what no one tells you. Synchronicities are not passive. They're reactive. They respond to how you think, how you feel, what you fear, what you desire, secretly, deeply, quietly. They track the subtle shifts in your energy and echo them back in symbols so precise, you can't ignore them if you tried. Let me show you how it works. You're thinking about quitting your job. You don't tell anyone, but every time you look at the clock, 11:55, change is near. You dream about water 3 nights in a row. Next day, someone says, you just need to let go. Then you see a book titled The Surrender Experiment. You laugh, nervously. This is not chance. This is a feedback loop. Your inner world sends out a frequency, and the world responds, not randomly, but rhythmically, with pattern, with purpose. So what if, instead of chasing signs, you started watching how the signs follow you? What if, instead of needing proof, you became proof? Because synchronicities don't lead you. They reflect the path you've already chosen, even if your conscious mind hasn't caught up yet. And when you finally act on them, the road clears, as if it had been waiting for your permission to unfold. Every time you respond to a synchronicity, you send a message, not just to the universe, but to your own field. You're saying, I'm listening, I'm available, I'm ready. And that readiness, it bends time. Suddenly, things start moving faster. People show up, opportunities align, delays dissolve. It's not magic, it's resonance. You're no longer walking against the flow. You've stepped into the current, and that current has momentum. It's been waiting for you to stop resisting, to stop second-guessing, to stop silencing the part of you that already knows. Because synchronicities are not just about signs, they're about speed. They show up faster when you act. They intensify when you align. They become undeniable when you stop trying to explain them away and start living as if they are true. Think back to a moment you followed a sign, a strange call, an intuitive yes, a sudden, I have to go here moment. What happened next? I bet reality didn't just respond, it accelerated. That's because the fabric of your path is listening. It's elastic. It stretches around your conviction, but it contracts around your doubt. So the more you trust the code, the clearer it becomes. The more you act on it, the more reality starts acting with you. And that's when things get wild, not because you've hacked life, but because for the first time, you're in rhythm with it. So if something recently pulled you into motion and you followed it, drop a comment below. Tell us what shifted. And if this rhythm feels like home, subscribe, because this isn't just information, it's activation, and you just crossed the threshold. There are synchronicities you forget, the repeating numbers, the songs, the perfect quotes on bad days. But then, there are the ones you never forget, the ones that crack your chest open, that arrive right before you fall in love or lose someone forever. The ones that whisper something so precise, so impossible, you feel like time just paused to let you catch up. These aren't just signals, they're sacred. A dream the night before your mother passed, and she spoke to you in symbols you didn't understand until the funeral. A stranger who said a single sentence that changed how you saw your entire past. A book that literally fell off the shelf the same week you were considering ending everything. These moments, they mark you. They are the soul's punctuation marks in the story of your life. Turning points you didn't know were coming, but your spirit did. And they don't repeat, not always. Because some synchronicities are one-time keys. They open a door, and that door closes behind you. So if you didn't walk through it, you'll spend years wondering why something still feels unfinished. That's why listening isn't enough. You have to respond, because sometimes the universe doesn't send a second signal, not because it doesn't love you, but because it already gave you everything. So think, was there a moment like that for you? Something that hit so hard, so strange, so deep. You still remember where you were standing. That was no coincidence. That was your soul, trying to get your attention before it had to scream. Leave a comment and tell me what your moment was. You never know who's waiting for that exact message. And if you're still reading this, the next synchronicity might already be on its way. It's easy to think of synchronicity as something ancient, something that only happens in dreams, rituals, or moments of silence in nature. But what if the new symbols are digital? What if the next sacred number isn't carved in stone, but coded in pixels? You're scrolling, you pause on a video, you don't know why. It says the exact thing you were just thinking. A quote appears, and it names your pain, your doubt, your secret question. Coincidence? Algorithm? What if the line is thinner than we think? Technology isn't outside of nature. It was born from it, from minds, which were born from consciousness, which was born from the same source as synchronicity itself. So when a video appears at the perfect moment, is it the algorithm, or is it you, vibrating in such a precise way that the digital world reflects it instantly? The screen is a mirror now, and yes, it can be distorted. Yes, it can distract, but it can also deliver. Because if symbols once came as birds in the sky or words in a sacred book, maybe now they arrive as messages in code, AI-generated, but soul-activated. The internet is not neutral. It echoes your energy, and when you awaken, your digital world awakens too. Synchronicities adapt. They're not tied to history, they're tied to you. So when the right thing finds you at the right time, don't dismiss it just because it came through a screen. That might be the new language of the divine. So tell me, have you ever seen something online at the exact moment you needed it, and it felt like someone was watching? Say it below. That comment might be the exact sign someone else scrolls into, right when they're about to give up. You thought this was just a video. You pressed play, maybe out of curiosity, maybe out of boredom, maybe because something soft, quiet, invisible nudged you. But here you are, and now you know. Synchronicity isn't an idea, it's a force, and it's been tracking you your whole life. Every moment of hesitation, every time you almost turned left but didn't, every night you felt something breathing beneath your dreams. It's always been there. The question was never, is this real? The question was, am I finally ready to see it? Now you are. So from this moment on, you don't walk blindly anymore. You walk watching, listening, receiving. You don't need to chase signs. You live in a way that they chase you, because your life is not random. It's encoded. Your heart breaks, your delays, even the things you thought were mistakes. They were the sacred setup. So breathe, look around. The next sign might be a whisper, or a storm, or this exact sentence, echoing inside your body as if you've already heard it before, because you have. Your soul wrote this moment before your mind ever arrived here, and now you've remembered it. So tell me, what's been chasing you lately? What numbers, what names, what dreams keep returning? Drop it in the comments, because the moment you speak it, you anchor it, and someone else might read your words and remember their own. If this video opens something, don't keep it silent. Like it, share it, subscribe, not because it helps me, but because it confirms to the universe, I'm here, I see, I accept. This is no longer coincidence, it's a contract, and you just signed it.